Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode for the Coaching Conversations podcast. Now, we are on Stitcher, we are on iTunes, and multiple different channels. Please check us out. Now, one of the things that you'll get out of our podcast episodes is a lot of content, a lot of strategy. It's not fluff, it's not concept, yet we really want you to engage with the content and let us know your feedback. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. If there's topics you'd love to have us address, we would love to share them with you. Let us know your impact and let us know your feedback. Now, last week we covered our first installment this month, during the month of May, talking about artificial intelligence. You know, one of the things that we also have to think about with AI is we also have to think about something called self-awareness. You know, if you have somebody who has a negative attitude, and I'll give you insight to what we deal with. You know, when I go to organizations and I will say things like, you know, what are you coaching to? You know, somebody like we have a lot of bank and credit union clients. They don't sit there and say, I'm really working on upselling and cross-selling skills and perfecting that ability on the front lines. What they usually bring up is the resistance to doing so. Attitude, motivation, resistance to feedback. Those are common things we hear in our business. Now, somebody who's not upselling and cross-selling, or somebody who's resistant to feedback, or somebody who's lacking motivation, here's my contention. Is AI really the solution? Here's why. Because if somebody truly wants to get better at something, I mean, how often have we said the last 10 years of our life, well, Google it. Go find out how. Yet people don't do that. You know, for decades, I've been saying, and Training Magazine and the people who attend my webinars, you know, always give me great applause for this. Training's not the problem. It's the reinforcement of training. Two things are at play with training reinforcement. The willingness of the learner and the willingness of the leader to coach the learner. That's it. If you go to a class on handling conflict and it's 2 days, you're not going to leave that class handling conflict the next 363 days flawlessly without hesitation and with absolute supreme confidence unless it's reinforced, unless it's practiced, unless it's nurtured, unless it's coached to. Now, I could put you on our practice app and practice that because that's one of our modules. Yet the fact of the matter is, what's the willingness of the learner? How is the leader going to reinforce the utilization of artificial intelligence? Now, I'm going to talk in our next segment next week about the risk to leadership using AI, because I believe that this is going to happen. The reason I believe it's going to happen is I think leaders are going to absolve themselves of some talent development responsibilities that might be germane to mentoring or coaching because they've done the same thing with training. So next week, tune in. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.